我是陈冠文，米特萨克斯风重奏团的团长。我们在3年前创立了这个 MIT 米特萨克斯风重奏团。这个团是台湾目前唯一一个，也是第一个职业的萨克斯风重奏团。会有这次的机会呢，其实刚好我们遇到了第1届的亚洲萨克斯风年会。那在这个年会有非常多的音乐家来到台湾，那我们所有的团员也很期待这次的合作。我们这次邀请的音乐家呢，都是我们学习萨克斯风的过程中，大家都非常熟悉的几位音乐家。那包括其中里面一位 Philippe Geiss， 这位萨克斯风演奏家，他自己也创作了非常多的曲目。这些曲目呢，现在都在世界各地上被非常多的萨克斯风团体在演奏。
Donc, je suis Philippe Geiss, je suis saxophoniste, je suis professeur au Conservatoire et à l'Académie supérieure de musique de Strasbourg et je suis également compositeur et j'ai organisé le dernier congrès mondial du saxophone qui a eu lieu en juillet 2015 à Strasbourg.
那 Geiss 老师他这次除了自己来以外，他也带了一位他在音乐上面合作许久的一位伙伴，就是钢琴家 Aupy 老师。
Je m'appelle Marija Aupy, je suis pianiste, je suis d'origine serbe et je vis en France depuis 20 ans maintenant. Et je viens à Taïwan pour participer au congrès mondial, premier congrès asiatique, avec le duo ostinato avec Philippe Geiss. Et j'ai la chance de jouer avec plusieurs d'autres saxophonistes qui viennent du monde entier.
我们米特从今年起邀请了 Lars Mlekusch 担任我们米特的音乐总监，这其实是我们的第2次合作。早在2年前，我们就已经一起巡回了台湾的5个县市，办了5场售票音乐会，在合作上面也非常愉快。
I'm very glad to be here. My name is Lars Mlekusch. I'm a saxophonist, conductor, educator, and sometimes also manager, art manager, doing my own festivals. So I live quite a broad artistic life, I would say, which is very important to me. I'm from Switzerland, originally. Lived in Austria, Vienna for the last 11 years, where I started teaching at the university, Music and Arts University in Vienna. And now I just moved back to Switzerland, to Zurich, where I also took a teaching position at the University of the Arts in Zurich. Anyway, so it's good to be based in those 2 cities still. To travel around the world, such as to come here to Taiwan.
最后我们还有一位蓝松达比老师，他是世界上非常知名的演奏家，我们一直都很熟悉这位很优秀的演奏家。那这次能请到他来台湾，我觉得真的也是托亚洲年会的福，那我们觉得非常荣幸。
Bonjour, je m'appelle Vincent David, je suis saxophoniste et je viens de France. Alors c'est pas la première fois que je viens à Taïwan, mais c'est la première fois que je joue avec l'ensemble et donc c'est une très bonne expérience de partager la musique toujours avec plusieurs personnes puisque finalement la base de notre métier c'est de rencontrer les gens. J'aime bien faire des concerts tout seul, mais partager la musique, partager la scène, ça reste très important. Donc à cette occasion, grâce à l'invitation du MIT, Made in Taiwan, on a réussi avec Philippe et Lars à faire un beau concert, je pense, et cette rencontre est très intéressante parce qu'elle mélange les cultures, même à l'intérieur de la culture française, on a des styles différents, et le fait de rencontrer un ensemble très professionnel de Taïwan avec des jeunes professionnels qui sont très vivants, très intéressants et très professionnels, ça crée une dynamique, je pense, de concert très intéressante.
我们的团员来自于留学世界各地的台湾音乐家，有些人是从荷兰，然后从美国，从法国，然后从意大利，就从 各个国家，然后留学回到台湾。那我们一起创立了这个米特萨克斯风重奏团。
大家好，我叫陈立峰。那我在这一次的演出呢，我是担任 soprano 第一部高音萨克斯风的第一部。那这个位置呢，它也是属于这个乐团的首席的位置。所以在排练和演出的过程，有很多不管是速度上或是音乐上的提示，我需要给大家做一个比较明确的提示，这样子。
我是张博芳，那我在米特萨克斯风重奏团这边有担任指导乐团的角色，就是副社团角色。那在这次演出里面，我主要担任是最低音的贝斯萨克斯。那我们除了一首邱浩源老师的作品没有用到贝斯萨克斯以外，其他所有的曲目都有用到贝斯萨克斯。
大家好，我是米特萨克斯风重奏团的老师，我叫张志宇。那么这一次演出当中，我所担任的是巴瑞顿萨克斯风第一部，还有部分的 soprano 的演出。在这一场演出有一首四重奏的协奏曲是用萨克斯乐团伴奏，那我担任的是巴瑞顿萨克斯风 solo 的部分。
我们这个团目前创立3年的时间，那到目前为止呢，我们陆续跟国际上很多的音乐家合作。那3年的时间，目前已经累积了10位在世界上非常有名的演奏家，就是一起合作，然后举办了许多音乐会、大师班。那3年的时间，我们也举办了15场售票的音乐会，那包含了40场的萨克斯风相关的讲座。
对啊，故意把它时间提早。当时我们洗个脸。
为大家开这场大师班，然后大家如果有任何的问题呢，都可以随时把它问。
Bravo à ce jeune saxophoniste qui a joué la sonatine de Claude Pascal. Et nous allons travailler 3 points maintenant. Au début, nous allons travailler sur la justesse déjà.
这首曲子老师有3件事情想要跟你说。那第一件事情就是音准。
Sur le mouvement lent, nous allons travailler sur la verticalité, être avec le piano. Bravo. Alors mon conseil, c'est de surtout essayer de penser au corps du musicien, puisque pour bien jouer, nous devons avoir un corps qui est en harmonie avec l'instrument, c'est-à-dire beaucoup s'intéresser à la concentration. Comme ça permet de bien faire fonctionner le cerveau qui commande bien le corps. Ensuite, beaucoup travailler la respiration, beaucoup travailler l'oreille. Et une fois que tout cela est bien clair, alors la technique d'embouchure, par exemple, et la technique des doigts fonctionnera beaucoup mieux, beaucoup plus facilement. J'ai trouvé que les élèves étaient bons, mais qu'ils ont encore beaucoup de choses à apprendre, surtout pour se détendre, et comme ça, ils pourront jouer beaucoup plus à l'aise et encore beaucoup mieux. C'est bien. Bravo pour le jouer. On peut l'encourager.
做时候就会有这方面的问题，不太一样。
play with a lot of energy and passion, and so it's fantastic. It seems like a really, really good class here, stimulating each other. It was great listening to solo performances today, but also the chamber music group, the saxophone group, which has a high potential. So very, very happy to hear them and give a little bit of input. Maybe that can continue work, but I know they have a great teacher too, so they're in good hands here. It's an honor being here. Okay, but now you come to the... This is maybe not so good. Yes, very. Me personally, I like to do a lot of interdisciplinary projects with the students to bring us together, different kind of arts, to do projects with dance, with theater, with fine art, and this is a school or university of the arts, so you have access to different departments, I guess, and to use that potential also, and this, to become an artist and not just a saxophonist. I think that's at the end very, very important. Try again. 1, 2, presto. Congress. Okay.
这次的曲目非常的多元，各种风格的音乐都有，包括古典音乐的改编，然后有世界音乐，然后也有爵士音乐。那其中有超过一半，对我们来说都是很新的作品，因为很多都是 Philippe Geiss 这位老师他创作的作品。
特别的部分呢，我觉得我想要讲讲，因为 Philippe Geiss 教授他其实是我在法国念书时期的个人的主修老师啊。那他是属于一个创作型的演奏家。那在这一次演出当中，有没有演一首曲子叫做《Conductor Sax》？这首就是我老师所写的。那这首曲子呢，其实它非常的特别。它在曲目的一开始当中，所有人要开始用口语讲话，讲各种不同语言。这首曲子已经正式开始，然后这样讲话讲一讲，然后就有开始一些不同的声效出来。它几乎是把萨克斯风可以发出声音的部位都已经用上。比如说只吹嘴啦，然后手做一些波动，让声音变得比较特殊，还有就是用脖子模仿长笛的方式啊，然后还甚至有踏脚，用脚去磨地板这种声响。
很特殊的技巧，就也是萨克斯风很少在做的，对大家来说都是一个蛮新奇的体验。
另外有一部分呢，因为是古典改编的作品，那这些作品在排练上面其实是比较困难的，因为对于音色、音准上面的和谐是特别的难。对，那也因为这些演奏家都是我们崇拜已久的演奏家，所以跟他们合作，其实心情上面的压力是很大的。
这一次的钢琴家欧皮老师以外，另外3位老师我都不是第一次跟他们见面的。那像 Lars 就是在2年多前来台湾跟米特做一个巡回演出 ，Geiss 老师和 David 老师都是以前在欧洲的时候有见过面，也有跟他们上过课，所以在这一次与这几位老师合作的感觉，有点像是回到学生时代的感觉，也是让自己有一个充电的机会，因为这几个老师，我觉得他们是真正的大师。
Moi j'ai trouvé le travail très facile parce que finalement dès qu'on parle de musique et qu'on n'a pas besoin de trop t'expliquer, le fait de jouer ensemble, ça nous permet de trouver une énergie commune. Ça déjà, ça permet de mettre tout le monde sur la même idée musicale, sur la même envie. Et finalement c'est ça être musicien, c'est d'avoir envie de partager, d'avoir envie de faire de la scène ensemble. Et donc le travail il a été extrêmement facile, extrêmement profitable.
I've seen there's a lot of improvement going on. So it's great to be back. It's great to see the progress, how the ensemble is forming, how they are working hard in improving the ensemble playing quality. It's fantastic. All of them have, of course, their own challenges, but I don't find that the ensemble has had any problems with any style or any kind of it. So every piece requires a different kind of work, but I feel like the ensemble can do anything actually. Can come a little bit more, yeah? Please, WWW. 1, 2, and.
With the orchestra. 3. You give me the impression that you're. But we are cool. Everybody is nice. Nice audience. Say ni hao. Ni hao. Of course, it's really connected. What is amazing in music that finally we're not practicing the technique. We practice on our personality. And it's very difficult but very interesting because then you can try to open and finally to be on stage, it's, as I said, a lot with them is as an actor. You have to interpret a character, not just try to do the notes, of course, the first steps. And it's still difficult. It's not just for Taiwanese people. Even in France, people play a lot of very good saxophone technically. But you have also a lot of people who are, even if they're not shy on stage, you can really easily hide behind your instrument. And what is music about is to finally to accept that you're completely naked on stage and you have to give to the people what you have in mind. And for that, if you're not ready to explore everything, there's always a part that you can feel, a distance. with the audience, it's impossible to put them at distance. We are on stage and you are here. We have to be in the same hall. Because like when we speak here, music, the finality of the music is to make some phrase. And if I lose a phrase, even if I'm not okay with, but there's a phrase, that's fine. And there's a lot of way how to make phrases, a lot of way, but find a way how to make phrase. Suggestions? No, it might maybe a little thing about intonation still, because I think they're, especially when they come here, I feel that they could play more with piano to have the ear open, and I'm sure they practice a lot of alone and a lot of I need to do the notes, the right notes. And of course it's always important to have the first step, but really as fast as possible use the ear. Music shouldn't be read like if you're it's really something, you know, it's like the Bible. It has to be in the mind, in the ear, and if you hear it you can correct. So music is about hear and share. Always here, the first time also, the rhythm is not quite good. 2, 3, 4, 1, really after the beat. I remember that I think the last time I was here it was 3 or 4 years ago, and there's always a masterclass. And I find each time I come back, the level is stronger and stronger, and maybe more than stronger, more homogeneous, more even. Because now I had 3 students, and okay, so it's always something you can say, always something you can work on, of course. But it's already something good. They know how to play, they know the saxophone, they play some pieces really good and very difficult for repertory. And of course then what is very interesting that now I can speak about music, and maybe 25 years ago it was not so obvious that we spend a lot of time on the technique because the embouchure or the sound was not really ready. Now, more or less, the things here are good, so we can try to be a little more in the music, and that's really what I like in the lesson, because we are here to play music, to share music, and I found 3 students a lot of capacity, even if there's something that about finally the culture, maybe it's also something we need to learn, and also it's always different to meet 2 cultures, the meeting of 2 cultures, it's something always difficult for everybody. And as the music is belong more to the European culture, it's easier for me, of course, to bring with the idea of style, of character, because it's what I've in the ear. And maybe what I feel that it's still a little not difficult, but I miss some culture in this just student, and I think it will be perfect because I understood what it was about, and they're going to progress and to make some huge progress. So looking forward to meet again them, and soon as possible to see the steps. No, that's good.
How do you get a better snap on?
practicing. But it's also finally a way out to understand that slap is like all the technique in saxophone, it's an evolutive technique. Slap, you have really to practice with metronome. A very good piece for that, it's not too much in the embouchure. If you try to squeeze the embouchure to use this position, and we spend so many time to play staccato.
Alors, pour le concert de demain, je ressens une très jolie excitation, une très jolie attente, parce que les répétitions ont été très sérieuses et c'était des répétitions où on a senti que tout le monde avait envie de donner le maximum. Donc demain, je pense que si nous avons la chance d'être bien concentrés, nous aurons beaucoup de plaisir à partager notre amour de la musique avec le public.
Moi, j'ai trouvé les membres de l'ensemble absolument charmants et nous avons eu une atmosphère de travail très agréable. Je trouve que c'est très important pour pouvoir travailler. Nous avons fait de très belles répétitions ensemble.
Alors, à l'approche d'un concert, moi ce que je ressens, surtout que le travail est fini, on a pratiquement fini tout le travail, c'est juste une envie. Je pense que c'est important d'avoir envie de retrouver de la fraîcheur. Et finalement, pour demain, moi ce que j'attends, c'est une communication sur scène. Et je suis dans cette attente de vouloir faire de la musique, de trouver le moment pour vraiment être ensemble. Et c'est juste de l'impatience finalement, parce que là, une fois que le travail est fait, on n'a qu'une envie, c'est d'y aller. Et c'est comme le sport avant la course, il y a la nervosité qui fait qu'on a envie d'y aller, on a envie de se jeter dans l'arène, et vivement demain.
Right now, I'm feeling a bit tired. A bit exhausted from the last days and today's rehearsal, so it's as always very intense time. It's great, intense music making, intense rehearsing. So I'm a bit exhausted, but also very excited, of course, before tomorrow's concert.
今天是我们米特萨克斯风重奏团的年度音乐会，很开心这次可以邀请到这么多国际级的大师来到这边跟我们米特一起合作，真的是个很难得的机会。因为有关注我们粉丝专页的朋友，应该会发现，上礼拜其实是一个亚洲萨克斯风大会，所以因为这个活动有非常多的老师，他们在同一时间一起来到台湾，那我们就从中挑了几位我们觉得非常厉害的老师跟我们一起合作。那今天是礼拜二，是平日，对，那我们觉得蛮可惜的是说今天座位没有坐满，因为这个机会很难得，那只能说有来现场的各位呢，真的很识货。那我们今天音乐会马上开始，谢谢。
Muczynski is a little different because I searched something on the alto, and I found it really interesting to have something written for as a sonata because Muczynski is for alto and piano, and the fact to change a little this and to also put a cadenza almost improvised between two movements was something I find very interesting because I always try finally to put something different. That to play just Muczynski with piano, there are so many people have done that very well that there's no really point. But to play it with ensemble, and especially MIT because it was very good, little ensemble with idea of cadenza, and finally it changed the music. That was really the first good impression for me to start this program.
Then we went on with a very famous piece, the most famous piece by French composer Paul Dukas, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, or L'Apprenti Sorcier, for orchestra originally, and my son David also arranged it for a saxophone orchestra ensemble, and we kind of rearranged his arrangement with his permission, and everybody probably knows the story, or at least the Walt Disney movie about it. And then we finished the first half with the famous, very famous violin concerto by Mendelssohn, and which is for a violin a big challenge to play, and to play this on soprano saxophone. I think the only man or woman that could do that in this world is actually Vincent. So it was a huge challenge to bring this first movement of the Mendelssohn concerto.
The Muczynski, it's a non-net, I think, or yes, it's a non-net. It's the arrangement. It was made by one of my former students, and Mendelssohn. I made the arrangement because I need to do it myself, because it's always better to control everything, and I always choose to make arrangement of leading finally all the orchestra part. That means there's really two groups in the orchestra: the strings and the woodwinds, and also the brass wind, but really two different groups. And I like to keep this idea. That's why there's two rows, because sometimes it's just the strings, so it's just 5 person with me, the first row, or 5 or 6, and then the second row is like there's a distance, and this distance introduce in the sound, in the way how to play also something like the orchestra, a little different. And I really like this idea of finally get impression that it's not always the same timbre. If we have one row, we have a lot of homogeneity in the saxophone ensemble. And I searched something a little different for this arrangement because I found the orchestra between strings and woodwinds is really different. So I tried to keep this idea, and I think it's pretty good thing.
After the intermission, we changed a little bit style. We started with a piece by Philippe Geiss called Caldera Sax, which is a piece that he wrote already many years ago. And I have performed that piece with my ensemble in Vienna, probably 6-7 years ago, the Vienna Symphonic Orchestra. Caldera Sax, I was very familiar with this piece already. And Philippe did a couple of little changes or adjustments.
Caldera Sax was the piece I composed for the Scotland World Sax Congress in 2012. That was commissioned by Jean-Michel Goury, and the idea was from the sculpture artist, the Swiss artist Calder, because I always like to try to find new sound, and then that was a very funny time during the composition, because I use each part of each saxophone of the saxophone ensemble, that only a baritone mouthpiece and only an alto mouthpiece, what is the pitch of each, how I could build an harmony, which kind of sound. Then that took around 6 months for me to find how to build some music with that. And then that was Caldera Sax for this way. And that's mobile, and after we have the second part more compact and more groovy.
Then we had this very nice new piece by Taiwanese composer. Very nice piece, new piece written for MIT Ensemble, Fugue, and this I think we did the premiere at the Asian Saxophone Congress in Chiayi, and so this was the second performance, and I think it went really well. Great piece, great addition to the repertoire for Saxophone Ensemble.
这场音乐还有一个很重要，是我们委托了一位台湾作曲家邱浩源老师，他从国立巴黎高等音乐院回到台湾，那这是他回台湾的第1年，那我们邀请他为我们这个团创作了一首全新的曲子，那这首曲子用了非常多的现代乐技巧，所以对我们来说也是有很大的挑战。
Galaxax was for me the really the piece commissioned and built for the MIT Ensemble. And here I really try to find a good place for the piano, because when we have 15 saxophones on the side and a piano, probably you will never listen to the piano. Then I try to find to keep my own style, find some good and interesting place for the piano, something interesting for the ensemble, and something interesting to have a solo part for me with the sopranino. And my inspiration was the French astronaut Thomas Pesquet, who is in the space now, and I already think that's the saxophone and the piano and the soloist is like some satellites in a galaxy. That's why the piece is called Galaxax.
Bonjour à tous à Taïwan, bonjour à tous les saxophonistes. Je suis très honoré d'être la source d'inspiration de la création Galaxax. Pour moi, la musique, ça fait partie intégrante de ma vie et ça m'accompagnera jusque dans l'espace.
the second part, mainly he choose, and I say yes, okay, I'm okay to play that, because we propose different thing, and also Philippe want to play his music. That he bring all this music, so that was completely normal for me to enter in his music and to participate in what he wants to do. So that I don't really choose the piece, but I was completely agree to play that with him because we already play Saxorcery in Strasbourg. We know that I know that kind of music. I know the Philippe's music, so I say yes, okay.
For Saxorcery is first a solo piece called Saxorcery, commissioned by Nicolas Prost. That's based on a metal guitar gimmick. I think about that. It's also some gimmick based on overtones of the saxophone, and the solo version of this piece already was already successful. Then I arranged the solo part to symphonic version, sax quartet and symphonic orchestra. And after that, Tim McAllister asked me to do an arrangement for saxophones, saxophone ensemble. I done that, and when I start to think about the concert program for Taiwan, I tried to find the place for the piano. Then I had the piano, and I was really happy about that because I was not really satisfied with the only saxophone ensemble arrangement. Something was missing from me, and probably because in the symphonic version we have drums. We have drums, xylophone, and with only saxophone I miss the articulation and the percussion detail articulation, and then the piano bring that.
we finished the concert with an arrangement of New in the Neighborhood by Jerry Berganzi, famous tune, and nicely arranged also for this ensemble, with featuring two soloists, Vincent and Philippe in this case.
New in the Neighborhood is a piece that the melody was composed by my very good fellow friend Jerry Berganzi, great jazzman from Boston. We have also a duet together, and I arranged this melody because I found that for the concert that's also very nice to show how, for example, a great classical soloist as Vincent David could play also jazz, and like that you could also listen the groove of Marija.
Philippe, we know just that we have already played the piece, so it was not a problem. Marija, it's a great pianist, so really there was really never a problem of not just a tempo, but of more thinking the music differently. We always were in the same way, so in that case it's like natural. You don't think about breathing, you just breathe. You learn that, and once it's made, but you do that all your life, and you don't think, oh, I'm breathing.
Zerbache is an encore because when we have a good concert, we need an encore for the audience and for the musicians. Then first that was a solo melody, and after I composed the duet version of Zerbache And already thinking about a sax ensemble and piano version. And this piece is from my world music style. I have other pieces like that, like Sir Patrick and so on.
Congratulations. No, they did a fantastic job, and it's really impressive and touching how much effort they put in this whole idea.
For me, it was more than a collaboration, because collaboration, it's like you say, yeah, we're going to do one thing and that's it and basta. But I think we can share more than just one concert, and especially the idea of the music. I found that we add, and especially on stage, the same energy, the same way how to phrase, how to make music, and for me that's the best. That means we are connected, and it's more connected than collaboration on stage. Even I'm here to play in front of the ensemble, I cannot play alone this music. The connection was really intense because of our week of practicing, because of the concert in Chiayi. So I think we start to play together, and when you play with friends that you like and you like to play with, it will collaborate for 10 years, 20 years, maybe more. We'll see.
We spend time working and also traveling and playing in another city and living together. So I think it really is something that brings ideas, and we know each other, we appreciate each other. So the second concert was more like a family concert. Really, there was something, an energy that was created during these days.
I think for me is, I think that between these different personality, Marija, Lars, Vincent, and the MIT Ensemble, and me, I think that's a good team and a good combination. Sometimes we found that, sometimes we don't know exactly why, but it works, and I have this feeling. And then we hope to do many concerts together.
I know it's not just a gig for them, it's not just deciding what pieces to play, organizing the rehearsals, but there's so much behind it, and there's so much work involved. The whole concept of MIT, also with the younger ensembles and the teaching, and like to create a kind of a real community within the Taiwanese saxophone culture or community itself, and it's so much work. They put so much passion, and they're so dedicated, and it's very, 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 very impressive. And so big congratulations to all of them. Thank you very much for this invitation, and I hope to be back very soon.
Let's do it many times in the future.
Congratulations. It was, I fell in love with Taiwan again, so I need to come back.